lovely to see the kind of goalkeeping union from Larne Football Club in front of me, alive and kicking. Not so much kicking when it comes to Conor, but Michael and Rohan, welcome and congratulations on joining Larne Football Club. Conor, I'll start with you. I got the intense feeling at the end of last season, I mentioned it to Michael earlier, that although Europe's there and it was a great finish and the best season ever, there was almost a sense that it wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone felt that throughout the club. And, we put ourselves in a really good position. We started off the season incredibly well. But as the season went on, after Christmas, I think we really struggled and we struggled to get points on the board. And I think ultimately that cost us towards the end. But there's a bit of unfinished business in us. And I think hopefully we can kick on from that.
I think it shows how much progress has been made. Bearing in mind, we're not happy with a CAS Shield. We're not happy with finishing in the top 4 in Northern Ireland. We're not happy with just getting to Europe. That shows that everything's changed, doesn't it?
Yeah, it shows you the massive ambitions that we have as a club, and that's exactly what you want. You want to be up there challenging for everything, and maybe the league sort of let us down. I think we played every game possible that season. And that the Irish Cup one sort of let us down, and the sort of last couple of months in the league. But it gives us something to work towards and something to aim towards, and a good platform starting this season, especially with the European games. So I think the boys are buzzing and really looking forward to it.
Conor, I'll come back to you in a moment about the injury, but you put me in a good mood with the T-shirt. At Salford Lads Club. Clearly, you're hoping for good questions rather than bad questions from me.
Yeah, definitely. Any questions about the Smiths and Marseille, I'd rather answer than football at the minute.
Rohan, welcome to Larne. As I said, you look as though you've caught the sun over the last couple of weeks.
Aye, as I say, I've been here for 2 weeks now. It's been scorching, so I've had my factor 50 on for the last few weeks, so it's been good. But obviously I've got a wee bit of the sun, so I had to go down to put Saturday, get the after sun and that. So that's decent enough.
How are you settling in? I mean, I know you know Northern Ireland. You've been here before, but how are you settling into Larne as a town and a place and a people?
To be fair, I've loved it. Obviously, I'm in the house now with Fudger, the boy Connor and Andy. So the last 2 weeks have been great. Spoke to the gaffer last week. He just asked the same, obviously, how's it been and stuff like that. Settled in really well. All the boys in that class. So it's been good. I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 2 weeks.
When you say you're living with Fuds, I just get this impression that there's protein shakes all over the place. There's barbells, dumbbells, the whole lot.
There's protein shakes, weights, smoothies. Do you know what I mean? Just constant protein. But no, it's been good to be fair. The boys now have got a wee bit about them cooking wise as well. So it's a good house. Actually, it's a good house. It's decent.
But
do you cook?
What's that?
Do you cook?
I've got a wee bit as well. I'm a lucky. I've got a wee bit, just simple dishes or nothing too fancy. Just simple.
Good.
I bet it's a bit like Love Island though. Fuds probably comes down with no top on every morning. Everybody else has got jersey coats on, haven't they?
Well, to be fair, ever since it started, the boys have been there at 9 o'clock watching it every night. We actually watched it instead of one of the games. What game was it? I can't mind, but it was one of the best games of the Euros anyway. We opted for Love Island instead.
But I mean, he looks like something out of Love Island anyway, doesn't he?
Aye. Well, saying that, he's not been happy. I think most girls have been walking in saying, "Listen, I want a boy at 6 foot." He's sitting there saying 5'5". I've no chance. So he's not been too happy. I don't think you'll see Fods in Love Island anyway.
No, it's Conor will tell you last season he got a red card for headbutting somebody who was about 6'3". He had to get on a ladder to do it.
Oh, did he? Is that right?
He hit his chest. He headbutted his chest. It was class.
God's sake. God's sake.
Rohan, we'll catch up in a moment. Michael, welcome to Larne. We spoke a little bit earlier. You're in the lucky position that my favourite goalkeeper, at least one of them, was Canadian in Craig Forrest at Ipswich Town. And how have you found settling in to Larne?
Honestly, it's been really good, especially having Conor here and Rohan as well. It's been good to learn off both them, especially with their experience that they bring. And just everyone at the club's been really good. And just honestly, I've been really enjoying it. It's a big change for me and being in a full-time environment and just being in every day around the guys. And honestly, I couldn't ask for it to be any better. It's been really, really good.
Of the four of us, I guess you're still the one that's probably complaining about the weather being cold.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Even on the warmest day, it's still not warm enough for me. And I know Canada, we have both extremes where our winters are really cold, but our summers are scorching. And at the moment, it's somewhere around 40 degrees Celsius back home. And I kind of wish I had that humidity and heat. So definitely missing it.
Have the boys told you about what Inver Park's like on a February night, whether it's wind, rain, snow? Hey, Conor's had it all thrown at him over the last couple of years.
I've heard, and I'm lucky enough that new stand's been built to block out some of the wind, but I'm sure the rain and the wind will still get in and be a nightmare for us.
Michael, we'll catch up in a moment. Conor, I want to ask you about at the end of the season, clearly a frustrating one for you, but how are you? How's the rehab going and how's the injury looking?
Yeah, it's going well. It's obviously a struggle. It's going to be any injury. You're not going to be happy. You want to be out playing and contributing to the team. But rehab's going well. Surgery went well. So it's just a matter of knuckling down, putting in the hard hours in the gym. I'm lucky I've met Michael Boyle, the club physio and Joe. They're both really supportive and help me out in every possible way. So I'm really lucky that way. But you do just get fed up sometimes, and really the start of the injury at the minute. But I'm in a good place and working hard, and I think I still can't walk. So I think I've done 8 upper body gym sessions this week. So I might get myself into Love Island myself with a bit of physique coming in the next few weeks.
I know in my life when people tell me to be patient, it's the worst thing that anyone could do for me because I don't want to be patient at all. I imagine it's even worse for a footballer, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. You just have to see the long road, and you have to just keep being positive that things are going the right way. You're going to get bad days. You're going to get days where you just can't be bothered, and you're just getting fed up. And as I said, I've been watching the two boys train, and I've been so impressed. The two lads here have been phenomenal, and I'm so jealous that they're out playing and I'm sitting watching. But they're really working very, very hard, and they're both in incredible shape. And yeah, the goalkeeping department's flourishing definitely, even without me.
But incentives are there, though, aren't they? You want to be challenging these guys and playing with these guys, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's three good goalkeepers, 3 great goalkeepers at the club now, and that brings healthy competition. And we said the first day we'll come in and we'll work hard and we'll see where it takes us as a good collective unit. And I can't wait to get back and show these two that I may be a bit older, but I can still mix it with them.
How do you assess the feeling around the club? I mean, clearly there's not excitement, but one of the problems has been there hasn't been a pre-season as such. 2 weeks without playing and then straight back in. Is that going to be a good thing going into Europe, or is that going to be something that's going to be difficult to contend with?
No, I think it's a really good thing. The boys are looking sharp, really, in training. As I said, it's given me a chance to sit back and sort of watch from the sidelines. And the boys that came back, I think the 2 weeks off has really, really helped some people. Like Tomas Costco played every minute or something along those lines. And we had a lot of players doing that. So a break was really good for them. And you can see that's helped them. And obviously you don't lose an awful lot of fitness over the 2 weeks. So I think that will really help us get into the European Games.
I'm just wondering the value of last season in terms of mixing it with the best and beating the best. I guess that does kind of take everyone on when it comes to kind of psychology of next season and again, looking to attain more.
Yeah, big time. I think that was a real good positive we had last season was that we went to the big guns in Belfast and got a few victories, which was the first time in a long time in the club's history. So that'll definitely give us a lot of positivity going into next year. But as I said, the boys are looking really sharp. There's no reason for us not to be positive for this season coming, and especially with these 2 games coming up. But we'll take the first game, and hopefully we'll get over that hurdle and then push on from there.
But I think that's the way you'd want it, isn't it? With the Inver Park game second, and we've been to Wales first.
Yeah, you can see it either way. I think there's pros and cons for both, but they're both 90-minute games, and that's it. And they'll be out to do their best, and we'll be out to do our best. But hopefully, I know we're preparing well for it. So hopefully, we come through.
Michael made the point about the new stand making life easier for goalkeepers. It will do, won't it? Bearing in mind the stuff that you've faced there, whether it's been, the fans behind the goal, or whether it's been a kind of onslaught of weather coming from all sorts of directions.
Yeah, it could help with the weather, but I'm not so sure. If you have 1,000 Glen men or Linfield men standing behind you throwing hurling abuse at you, I think I'd rather the wind. So, but it's really good that the environment of the club is phenomenal. Just 3 years ago, I think the pitch was laid, and to see the 2 new stands and what they've done to the stand that was already there, it's phenomenal. And the changes just keep coming thick and fast, and it's a good place to be. I'm, as I said, proud to be part of it, and I'm looking forward to this season.
And just a final point, as we're talking, all the ingredients there to be better than last season, I think. Bearing in mind, it's an onslaught in terms of the number of fixtures coming, but this is a squad that's getting better, and hopefully with a few more maybe additions to it, will really start to challenge.
Yeah, big time. I think every year we've since Kenny's come in and the manager and stuff, and we've just looked to improve every single year. And you don't listen to the outside noise of, oh, they didn't win the league, there's trouble down there and all that. That's all nonsense. We have our plans in place. We know we want to get better every year. We want to add to our squad every year. And as I said, keep building. And I know the club as a whole want to just keep building and keep moving forward. And I think that's what we're doing. So, it's a good time for the club. And as I said, I just can't wait till this season gets underway and we can show what we're all about again.
My experience with goalkeepers is they give it out, that they know about the banter and that you don't cross them. Have these two got good banter?
Yeah, I think all goalkeepers are nuts, aren't they? I think us three are kind of nuts in different ways. You know what I mean? I think me and Rohan would be more like the Mike. Mike's a bit more Americanized, if you want to say it like that. But especially with his haircut, you can't quite see it there. But it's a bit of a bird's nest and things going on there. But yeah, three good lads, and as I said, with Alan Blaney behind us, another fourth goalkeeper, another bit of a madman. I think we all get on really well this year.
But I think we found with Ben Tilney over the last couple of seasons, the Larne fans like the long hair look, don't they?
Yeah, they'll definitely take the mic 100%. Probably until I hear him speak.
Conor, I'll catch up with a moment. Rohan, good to see you. I think Conor will concur with this, that one of the things that marks and sets Larne apart is that when Kenny and Tiernan say something to you, it actually turns out to be the truth. Is that what you found over the last couple of weeks?
I definitely. Obviously, I spoke to Tiernan on the phone first. Pretty much said that, listen, come over, see the place first, the environment and stuff, you'll love it. And to be fair, he was spot on. He was absolutely spot on. Says the squad that they've got is great. Said the people and stuff as well, and Larne are good. So now everything he says is going to be spot on so far.
And how do you sort of gauge the mood at the club? I mean, I asked Conor about it. He talked about the excitement of Europe, but I guess that it's there, isn't it? But also a belief that you deserve to be there too.
Aye, 100%. Listen, I think all the boys for last season have kind of built the foundations for people like me, Mike, even other signings to come in and do well. So there is certainly a buzz about the place, and much there should be. The boys done amazing last year. So as I say, it's a good time for me and Mike and other boys to come in and hopefully do well.
And how would you also assess what's being asked of you as a goalkeeper? Is it different to the other clubs you've played at, bearing in mind Tiernan wants to play in a certain way, which we talked about with Conor already?
Yes and no. Obviously, when I first came through, I came through Airdrie. We played as well. We played for the back. We've done very similar to what Larne do here. The thing is, we got to a stage where we done it throughout the season, and we changed. But as I say, it's not unnatural for me. We didn't do it as much last year because, as I said, we didn't play that way. But it's very intense in training. You know what I mean? I've got that system in place. It's like, I don't know, a lot of clubs you go there, they've not really got they've no identity as such, but Larne certainly has. So it's a good thing. You know what I mean? It's a good thing that if I come in, whether Mike comes in, Conor comes back in, they know how to play. They don't change. You know what I mean? Which is a good thing at a club.
Does that mean also on a daily basis you're more involved with the ball? Because I know certain clubs where the goalkeepers get thrown to the other side of the training ground and you get to train on your own. But is Larne different in the sense that you have to play, so you have to be involved in some of the drills more so than perhaps other clubs?
Yep, we'll do like kind of phases of playing stuff like that, so we'll be more involved. Whether it be pass out to left back, right back, into the centre mid, stuff like that. So it's good, as I say, you feel more involved in the team as well if you do that. So it's good.
And in terms of assessing where the club's right at now, what's the difference between this Larne and the Larne that you faced when you played for Linfield a couple of seasons ago?
Well, to be honest with you, I wouldn't say much different because that's probably what made my mind up to come here. When I was at Linfield, we played them at home, we beat them, then we played them down at Larne, and they played us off the park. They won 3-1, and I was impressed. I was so impressed the way they played. As I say, it suits me to a T. So obviously I couldn't see too much. As I say, that year I thought, listen, they're a good side. I thought the next year they would be up challenging, which they were. I think they were 5 points clear at Christmas. And obviously things didn't go away after that. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't say much different from what I've seen and what I is now.
But probably also fair to say that some of the bigger teams in the country now know that Larne are a threat.
100%, yep, 100%. I think Larne kind of set the benchmark to going full time. I think that's obviously had a knock-on effect in the league where other teams start to go full time now. So it's definitely set a benchmark, and as I say, Larne's a big club now, and this league a big threat. So I think that other clubs have kind of took notice of that.
I talked to Conor about the guys not having a rest. Did you get more of a rest than 2 weeks?
I think I had too long. I had 8 weeks off. So as I say, I was up. I think my last game when I was at Queen's was the end of April. So I was just trying to do as much as I can over the summer. But as I say, it's hard to replicate kind of goalkeeping. You just try to do as much running as you can, short and sharp stuff in the pitch. But as soon as you come back in training goalkeeping, it's completely different. It's like no other.
And I think, having spoken to Tin about it, he's really pleased with the kind of tempo of training over the last couple of weeks and the kind of shape people have come back in, and also the hunger they've got for this new season starting with Europe.
Yeah, it's been good. I think obviously it's hard for the boys. I think the boys last year played every game you could in Irish League, so it's hard as listening. Sometimes a good break's good as well, but I think the boys were more keen to get back in than start training again and get back to Europe. So it's been a short break for them, but as you can see in training, I think the boys are buzzing to be back.
And how do you assess this European game? I said to Conor about playing away at first and obviously back at home second. I guess it doesn't make a difference, but perhaps the advantage the Welsh have got is that they've been here before and done it.
Yeah, I think what Conor says, obviously there's pros and cons of both. But I think if you can go away first and get a result, then if you come back to Inverness, you definitely fancy yourself. As I say, it's a winnable game. So it's one that we'll really look forward to.
And then in terms of dealing with the AstroTurf, is that different as a goalkeeper? Is that something you've got to get your head around, or is that something that makes it easier because the ball is more predictable in terms of its bounce?
I'd say, well, listen, it depends. If you're playing on a good grass pitch, that's obviously everyone prefers that. If you're playing on a poor grass pitch, I would certainly rather play on a good AstroTurf. Which you say there, it is more predictable. Obviously, it's better when it's a wee bit wet, which I think we do at Inverness. We obviously water the park before the game, which helps. But no, it's definitely better than a pure grass pitch anyway. I'd rather play on an AstroTurf.
Just a final point. I mean, I'm passionate about Larne. The people at Larne looked after me when I was at university, and it's always been a really, really important part of my life. Has the place surprised you in terms of the warmth, of the welcome, and the fact that people are so excited about what's going on?
Well, to be honest with you, I came over for what game did I watch? I came over for the Glenavon game, the playoff kind of semi-final. And just then, obviously, I came over. The fans were back in then, and I was impressed. You know what I mean? It just the warmth and stuff about the place. I went up to like the kind of bar and stuff afterwards, seen the fans, and it was just a warm place. The stadium, you know what I mean? It was, and to be honest with you, you don't really get that at a lot of places. You go to like big stadiums, and it's just like a big. I don't mean a company as such, but it's just like a big. Loads of fans. You don't really feel the warmth, but to be fair, at Larne, I did, even in the community stuff as well. We go and do things and whatever. You do feel that warmth in the community.
And a band of brothers in terms of the goalkeeper, and the banter's pretty good.
It's decent enough. Listen, the goalkeeping department's good this year, so it's been decent enough. As I say, me and Mike's been good. Conor's been coming out as well, watching us, doing his bit as well. So it's been good. It's been good.
Lovely to meet you. I'll catch up with you in a moment. Michael, welcome to Larne, as I said, a Canadian voice, a first Canadian voice, certainly at Inver Park. And how much are you enjoying it?
Honestly, it's just been really good. Every day to be in and be able to work with everyone and just take it all on board. It's a big experience for me, and I just come in to work hard and just show my best every day. And honestly, it's been really good. Inver Park's been good. The people around it's been really good. People in Larne have been great. So I've been loving it so far.
And in terms of the journey that's brought you here, I guess it's almost thanks to COVID, isn't it?
It is thanks to COVID. Honestly, I wouldn't be in this side of the world if honestly COVID didn't happen. Well, at least not at this point. I was just over in university before and playing there, and then COVID hit, and I just wanted to continue playing. And there's a Goalkeeper Institute over here in Northern Ireland, run by Mike Argyrides. So I was in touch with him to come over here, trained, and then was playing in the championship, and then got myself a move to Larne. And it's been great so far.
I talked to the guys about what's kind of demanded as a goalkeeper, and I think you all reflect on the fact that you're working with your feet as much as you are with your hands, and I guess you'd welcome that, would you?
Oh, 100%. I think we all are pretty similar in the sense that we love to play out the back. We love to have the ball at the feet and kind of dictate the play early. So I think we've all taken that on board, and we all have committed to that style. And like you've mentioned before, and even Ro was talking about, we're in training. We're working with phases of play and learning the different styles of play of every player and how we play out the back, and it's been really good.
You've been in Northern Ireland long enough to kind of assess the kind of place and where Larne fits in. In terms of perceptions of the club, have you just seen those grow since you've been here?
100%. 100%. I'm living in Belfast, and the people's opinion of Larne from this side probably isn't the greatest. But then once you're there, once you actually get to experience the people and just see what it means to even just play at Inver Park and just to be around there, it's really good. It hasn't changed my perception, because I never had a negative perception of it. But from what people have told me, it's definitely not what people are saying. That's for sure.
I think that's why Conor will agree with this. That's why that beating the Belfast clubs is so fun. But I think it's also a kind of motivation in terms of playing for Larne, thinking, right, we're not just a blip. We're not just a one-season wonder. We're here to actually challenge and be part of this.
100%. And when you come in every day, that's what you see from all the guys. There's just, like we've already talked about, that there's a buzz around the place, that everyone's ready to take this next step on board and help the club grow and just get bigger for everyone. Because the better the club do, the better that everyone as an individual does. It just looks better on everyone. So everyone's willing to come in and work hard and just have that extra jump in their step to make sure we're taking the right step forward.
Have you got a handle on just what this next couple of weeks means for Larne? Because I joked with somebody from the town that Larne and Europe, I only thought would be part of a ferry trip. And now we're talking about European football for the very first time, which is an incredible step.
So it's a massive step for the club. And luckily I was lucky enough to actually be there at the playoff final to experience when they won and actually what it meant to the supporters and to what it meant to the people at the club, the players. And honestly, it's unbelievable. It's a massive step. But like we talk about, it's always looking to what's next and how can we do better. And that's coming here and putting our best foot forward to win these European games. We talked about the guys. I mean, in terms of accents, sometimes I have to tune in to people. If you're talking about Marty Donnelly or Tomas, you're going to have trouble. Have you experienced communication problems? 100%. I think the worst one now is here with Rohan here. I can barely understand him with his accent from Scotland.
I was too polite to say that. I just really concentrated, and it sort of started to make sense after a couple of minutes.
No, I think it was the second day in training. I said, Rohan, I'm sorry if I ask you about 3 or 4 times of what you said, because honestly, I don't understand you half the time. And that just comes, but that'll grow. And like it grew now with the Northern Irish accent for me to understand what a lot of people are saying now. I'm sure that'll change with Rohan as well. And it'll come more clear for me.
But I know, speaking to so many of the players, how pleased and proud they are, how tight this dressing room is. Has it made an impression on you sort of early on about that?
100%. Everyone comes in and we talk about like the banter, and we talk about like that's what's supposed to happen in a team environment, right? And everyone's comes around each other, and we're all hanging out. Like we make a point that we all have to hang out before sessions. We all have to do as many team events as we can, and everyone just seems to get along really well. And that's a massive part, especially as a goalkeeper, because you never want to come into a room and feel kind of outcasted or not comfortable. And especially my situation, coming from another part of the world and having my accent, as you say, and not really fitting in right away with my long hair and my beard and all that. But no, everyone's taken me on board great, and the environment in the room's class. Everyone's really good. Does
the long hair stay tied up, or does it ever come down?
It does come down, after a training session or when my hair is wet. But when it's not, it poofs out and gets massive. So it doesn't make too much of an appearance when it's down.
We joked earlier. Conor was asking Rohan about his dish and how his cooking's going. How are you in terms of self-catering?
Honestly, I'm pretty good. I try to get creative now with my dishes. I look up a lot of recipes and even like call my parents back home to see how they've made things. I come from like a Greek household, so there's not too many restaurants around here, places I can kind of get that sort of culture. So I'm always contacting them and then seeing how they can help me cook better. So
and you also look like someone who's well adjusted enough not to be homesick, or is that ever a problem? Because I know when I was in Northern Ireland as a student, I found it as a problem, and I was only coming across a half an hour flight on a plane. You've got sort of 9 hours on a flight.
Yeah. I think there was a period where honestly I was really homesick, especially through the lockdowns that we had throughout the winter time, and when the weather was probably the worst it's been since I've been here. But no, that period's pretty much gone. My family's been obviously I'm in contact with them every day, and my friends are calling me. But my family's hopefully gonna come over here once they figure out what these restrictions are with like the vaccines and all these restrictions that are in place. But no, I'm past that now, and just I'm good here. I'm settled in. And
do you not miss your girlfriend, Mike?
Oh, I do. I miss her lots.
Give her a shout out then. Say I miss you.
Yeah, she knows I miss her. But lucky enough, she's coming over here at the end of August, and she'll be living here with me, which will be sweet. So that'll definitely help me out.
Life will be getting better. Look, lovely to meet you, Michael. Hopefully, I'm coming over for the second leg of the game in Europe, so hopefully meet you in person then. But congratulations and welcome to Winford Park and to Larne Football Club.
Thank you.
Good to meet you. Rohan, if I could just catch up with you finally. Conor asked you about the cooking. What's your best dish?
Well, to be honest with you, I've been eating quite healthy since I've been over. So it's not been. I would usually I would go for a nice Cajun chicken pasta, but I've not made that yet. So it's just been your usual kind of stuff fries, chicken and rice, kind of homemade Nando's stuff like that, fajitas. What else? What's that? That's honestly that's honestly that's pretty good kind of healthy stuff. So that's what I've been making so far. So it's been all right. It's been not too bad.
And the guys you live with, who do you pray is going to cook, and who do you don't want to cook in terms of the food that you've had?
So what we've been doing, we've just been cooking our own stuff recently. But I think we're only going to one night a week. But the boy Andy's got a wee bit. He's good. He does things proper. So hopefully get a wee dish off him soon.
And it almost feels like a student house like I had in Northern Ireland. Who's in charge of the music, or do you have different music going on all over the house?
To be honest with you, there's a speaker up here, speaker in Andy's room, speaker in Connor's room, Fudge as well. He's got a speaker in there, so it's calm. It's calm the jai. Then you've got a TV in the living room that's obviously playing something else as well. You've got a speaker in the kitchen, somebody will have, so it's madness. Different music everywhere.
Rohan, a pleasure to meet you. Good luck with the season. Hopefully, as I say, I'll meet you face to face in a couple of weeks' time. But good luck with the games coming up, and thank you for speaking slowly so I can understand everything going on.
Perfect, thank you.
Top stuff. Conor, I'll finish off with you. I mean, the guys have fitted in seamlessly, it seems. What would be your one piece of advice so that kind of continues? Keep a clean sheet.
Yeah. Don't let the ball go in the net. I think that's our number one job, and I think that's all we need to do, isn't it? And then no one talks about it. If no, they don't score, we're okay. That's a big thing for goalkeepers, and especially for experienced goalkeepers. We don't need to go out and show people that we can make all these big saves and do all this. We do all that. Just keep doing the simple things right. And I know these two definitely in the past 2 weeks that we've been in and I've been watching, they've definitely been doing that with Alan, and I think they've talked themselves down. They've both been phenomenal since they've both come in from watching from the sideline. So I'm excited to see them in games.
Just a final point. I mean, where are you on this whole kind of we Larne thing? Because I used to think it was complimentary in terms of proving people wrong, but those days are kind of behind this football club now, aren't they?
Just whatever people want to say, that's okay. If it's we Larne, it's we Larne. We know as a team, as a group, as a club, what we want to do, and we have our sights, on the top, and that's where we want to go, and that's where we want to get to. And I for one don't care what they call us, and I'm just here to win. And I think everyone in the team and the staff and the whole club, that's what we want. So that's what we're aiming for.
Conor, Rohan, Michael, lovely to see you all. The goalkeeping union at Winford Park is thriving, I can see, and hopefully see you all in a couple of weeks in the flesh. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye.